hear some like pulling on the door. This man is about to come into this house. How are you feeling about the blizzard?
Got the right tire pressure, all-terrain tires, four-wheel drive. We equipped.
We're equipped.
And I'm tired of all these dapping and songs on care if you a rap dog. No, you gotta listen to lyrics.
I'm listening to the lyrics, Pumpkin. I'm listening.
You gotta listen to lyrics. Right?
Yes.
Hey, Echo, turn this beat off if I ain't tripping on it.
I won't know the truth. And real way, falling all the way apart. 'Cause I'm
Start in the middle, and we got Christ on defense. You know that God's our keeper.
Hello, this is part 2 of this trip that we're on, and if you watched the last vlog then you would know we went to Ohio for Thanksgiving to see my family, and now we're having a little bit of an extended trip to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We've been to Milwaukee before. It's really fun, like a nice cute little city that's not too far from where we live in the Chicago suburbs. But one thing that is different about this trip, we're driving through a snowstorm. So let me show you. But we knew this last night and we were trying to figure out should we leave early this morning or tomorrow. But my dad made a good point in saying that we either drive while the snow is fresh and falling, or potentially we drive on top of ice. So this definitely seemed like the safer option, and we've still got about 3.5 hours left. So I'll keep you posted about how the rest of the drive is going. Oh right, yeah, and counting, Leonard said. The minutes continue to go up because of the snowstorm, and right now we're in Indiana and we're gonna drive through Michigan and Chicago up to Milwaukee. Currently stopped because there's an accident ahead.
For a lot of people, I can see this being real stressful, but for me, this is super fun. Donut is like a car channel.
On YouTube.
Two of the guys went to Alaska and they bought $400 cars off Facebook Marketplace, and then did like the super dangerous snow mountain adventure. Like, I was looking forward to driving through the snow. So it feels like that donut video.
All right, if only you could learn to yodel. Pumpkin, can you yodel?
How you gonna honk at somebody after you pulled up that close on them?
All right, we're about to yodel.
Bria, I'm holding on to my mental fortitude.
Okay, so we're not yodeling together. All right.
This drive is turned to an 8-hour drive.
Let me see if I can yodel real quick. Yodeling. That was okay.
God.
We made it. Look at this snow. Do you see this? Look at my foot.
This one has 2 bedrooms, really simple, small home, you know?
Leonard's talking to his parents. It is 7:30. We left Cleveland at 11:30, okay? And I prayed just yesterday, like, Lord, I really want to see something that reminds me of you over 8 hours, like 8.5 or more hours. Multiple cars piled up, accidents, all sorts of stuff. And we didn't have not one slip up. And literally, I'm like, well, I asked God to see something in the natural. Praise God. I'm about to shower, probably about to literally chill and just stretch my body because I need to like get all the little kinks out from sitting in a car. It is Sunday morning. If you didn't already know this, mornings are like my favorite part of the day, and that's where I feel like the most generative in terms of like ideas and stuff. I'm reading Jonah right now, and I think I told you in the last vlog that I'm going through the book of the 12, which is like the 12 prophets, starting from Hosea to Zephaniah. And I just want to read you part of these few verses from Jonah. Jonah is like a really special book to me because when I first moved from Chicago to the suburbs, the therapist I was seeing was like, you sound like Jonah, because I was like, I do not want to be here. I do not want to be around these people. And then the Bible Project actually had this like seminary level class on Jonah, and so I went through it and learned just so much about the context, about who Jonah was, about the book itself, about the city of Nineveh, etc. And I was like, ooh, I am Jonah. Jonah is me. Okay, this is Jonah chapter 1, verses 1 through 3. The Lord gave this message to Jonah, son of Amittai. Get up and go to the great city of Nineveh. Announce my judgment against it, because I have seen how wicked its people are. But Jonah got up and went in the opposite direction to get away from the Lord. He went down to the port of Joppa, where he found a ship leaving for Tarshish. He bought a ticket and went on board, hoping to escape from the Lord by sailing to Tarshish, which is just like hilarious. Basically how I was feeling when we first moved to the suburbs. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna keep reading Jonah, and then there's some other things I want to share with you too about Amos and some things that I realized. Okay, we're about to leave soon, and my sister showed me this thing that she does with her locks, where she'll take like 2 of the back ones and then tie it like gently, obviously, like tie it in the back to just kind of pull it all back a little bit. So I'm gonna try that right now. And then I'm just making this little tie thing like this. Okay, I think that's what I want. I think I like it. We'll see. Okay, I want to tell you about something that I read in Amos a few days ago, and honestly, I feel like I have so much to tell you guys, so I might have to like sprinkle it through different vlogs. I was reading Amos chapter 7, and specifically verses 14 through 15, so I'll come back to that, but I also just wanted to give you a few little notes and things that you should know ahead of time when reading the book of Amos. Amos was a prophet, and God used Amos to announce his judgment on Israel for their heartless worship and also for the injustice and oppression that they were causing. Okay, that's the backstory. There's literally so much more to say, but for now, we'll just go to chapter 7 and start at verse 10. And there's this priest named Amaziah. He tells Amos to go back to Judah, where he came from, and then to just start prophesying there instead. Amos replies to him saying these 2 things. So now we can go to verses 14 and 15. So it says, but Amos replied, I'm not a professional prophet, and I was never trained to be one. I'm just a shepherd, and I tend to sycamore fig trees. But the Lord called me away from my flock and told me, go and prophesy to my people in Israel. Okay, the reason that that's crazy to me in my life is because that's basically how I felt about my current job. Like, I studied international relations in college, and I studied higher education and student development in grad school, but now I work in tech sales. And I was like, Lord, what are you doing? And that's kind of why I was saying before I relate so much to Jonah, because I wanted to go the other direction. And literally when we moved out here, specifically when we bought our house, literally I was crying in the basement because I was like, I want to move back to the city. Also for my job, I had to commute to the city, and it took like 2 hours each way. This is just so inconvenient. This is so frustrating, etc. So obviously not exactly like Jonah, but I still kind of shared his sentiments. And I felt very similar to what Amos is saying here. Not that he felt this way, but these are the things that I was saying. Like, I'm not a professional salesperson. I was never trained to be one, but the Lord called me away from doing that. Because literally that's what happened. It was like God picked me up and then like planted me here in the tech world. And I realized that a lot of us might be experiencing something similar. So hopefully this is encouraging to you too. What was so comforting to me is that God called Amos from what he was doing before, doing agricultural work. And then he had him go do something that Amos did not have any training before. This was not like, oh, you know, one day, at least as far as we know, it wasn't like Amos had on his bucket list, I want to be a prophet. And we don't exactly know, at least I don't think we know how Amos felt about it, but we do know that the Lord called him away from what he was doing to do what the Lord had in mind for him. And I think what's also special about this with Amos is that there is so much injustice and evil and oppression going on. And so God used Amos to call out evil and oppression and basically to say, if you don't cut this out, like my judgment is coming and this is the kind of judgment that you're going to face. And so it wasn't just that God called Amos away from what he was doing to do something like, I don't know, frivolous by our terms or something that seemed meaningless. God called him to do something that God had decided was important. Even if it feels like, God, I wanted to work on what felt like all these like much more important things than like what I understood tech sales to be in terms of level of importance. But God has a plan, and I kind of know a little bit of what that is for my life, but I don't know, you know, every particular detail, and that's okay. What I think is special is that Amos went anyway. He didn't do what Jonah did. He listened and then he followed through. Even if you feel like the place or the job that God has called you to is meaningless, know that it's not. I wanted to add one more thing. If you watched my vlog from 2 vlogs ago, the one that was like a week in my life, then this is kind of a continuation of that, so you'll know. But if you haven't, I definitely recommend go back and watch that. Even since then, I've still been experiencing a little bit of like restlessness and angst around job stuff. And yesterday in our super long car ride, I was just writing some of those things down and just trying to get my thoughts out. And so I want to read some of those things to you. Oh, look who it is. It's my pumpkin. Okay, hi baby. I asked myself, what's actually the fear? And I realized that it is like being laid off or fired and then having to pick up the pieces after that. And so I'll just read you what I wrote. Even if that happens, God's got me even then. Finding a new job sounds like a nerve-wracking thing, but that actually wasn't the scariest part. The scariest part sounds like dealing with the humiliation of being laid off or fired. Realizing that that is how the Lord got my attention, and he reminded me that he's Jehovah Jireh and that I'm looking to him for help, so no shadow of shame will darken my face. I don't have to submit to the embarrassment or the shame from any angle. In tech, they tell you things like this is the best place to grow your career, but there's also something called the golden handcuffs, and so that can make you feel like you're trapped. Golden handcuffs means like they give you high pay, all these benefits, and then if you try to leave and feel like you want to go to a different job, it's hard because a lot of other places don't offer those same things, so it can feel like you're trapped or like you have to stay. Through all of that, God has definitely shown me and reminded me he's the one that brought me here in the first place, just like with Amos. Just knowing that I can even give that like restlessness to him about work, knowing that even if I get fired, even if I get laid off, but just being able to name those things and give those to God too, and recognize that he is the source, not the job, not anything else. And he's the one that's providing for you too. He's going to be the one that sustains you through the job until he calls you to something else, and then he'll sustain you in that new place. Wait, look cute.
I feel like my mom is showing me, like trying to show my grandmother my Easter outfit.
Well, good thing I'm not your mom or your grandmother. But even if I was, I would do the same thing because I like this outfit.
You didn't even let up your window.
I was!
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I literally did, Leonard. I literally did. I let the window up.
After the puddle, when I said let up your window, you said,
No. No, I did let up the window. The window just goes so slow.
I tried to slow down over that puddle. I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, you did.
I'm so glad I did, because that would have been bad. I looked over at the window, and the window was entirely down. It wasn't even like a tenth of the way up. I was like, it's done. We gotta go back to the Airbnb. She gotta change. She's cooked.
Cooked. But luckily, I'm still fresh like a piece of broccoli, right? Like not, because the broccoli's not cooked. You know?
I mean, you tried it. It didn't land, though. Yeah, I'm not cooked like a piece of broccoli, right? Okay, buddy.
The best angle, but I'm just showing Leonard what I got for someone at the store I was just at. Okay.
You can't tell you don't look like cleaning towels. Same material and everything.
Look at them. They literally say cloud socks.
Just, what's this?
It's perfume. Okay.
There we go. A little tiny bit. Oh, that smells very good.
It smells good.
That
and
smells incredible.
You can spray that one on your hand.
I like it. It's strong. It's
Good,
like pine, citrus,
Smells good, man.
clean, and a musk all in one.
At first glance, just see, what do you think this might be?
Oh, you found my bag of roots. I see. That smells like...
So if you open it like this, it has...
Flip it upside down now.
Leonard.
That's a baby's hat. You put a drawstring in it, bam. It's a bag of gold.
There's pockets for like rings or jewelry or bracelets or whatever. There's one more gift I forgot to show you guys. What? I see it all over your face.
They sold you a story, bro. An eye pillow. They put rice in a bag and said, eye pillow. $1 worth of fabric, 30 cents worth of flaxseed, and sold it to you for $12.
We're done here. Just walked through the market. So cute. It was very small, but it was worth it because I love markets. We went to church and we went to breakfast. We went to the public market, which you already saw. My face is super dry right now. And so I convinced Leonard that we're gonna do face masks and he agreed. I'm doing this one from The Ordinary. I think
you're not doing the same one as me?
No, there's only one pumpkin. You're gonna do the hydrating sheet mask. Lavender. This is a really good one. Lynn, don't you dare start acting like you're about to throw up. Don't you dare.
This is so slimy.
Don't you dare.
Bring here. Can you open this?
Can I open it?
Yes. Ugh.
It's not nasty. There's a face. Yeah, keep your eyes closed. No, are you shaking? Baby.
It's so cold.
If you help me, you have to relax. Yes, it's supposed to be refreshing.
Refreshing?
Why do you have your hands up like this?
It's so cold.
I know,
it's
but
so
this
wet.
is how
it's slimy.
Is that good?
I think so. This feels like I have a Clorox wipe in my face.
AHA and BHA peeling solution. All right, so first question. Are you ready?
Yes.
What have you learned about being a man and a husband in our marriage?
Hold on. I just got to give a side note.
Yes.
Do you see how crazy I look? What I've learned through marriage is the softer side of Jesus. I think as a man, I relate to Jesus walked in and flipped tables. Mm-hmm. He exerted his authority over the heavens and the earth. Being married to you and watching your heart for God, there's so much gentleness. My dad was wonderful. My dad never told me not to cry, right? But when I played football, for example, when you get hurt, I learned to realize, pain is a mental thing. Just get over it.
You can take that off now.
Thank you. Wonderful. I'm free. That was supposed to be refreshing. That was not refreshing. I feel like a lot of men approach life like that, and maybe emotions like that. Pain is mental. Just act like it's not there and keep pushing. Being around you, I've seen fullness of Jesus's emotions, his gentleness, and his meekness. There was a situation, I don't really like the phrase alpha male, but I think in a lot of ways, a lot of people define me as an alpha male. Me and Bria were in a situation with a group, and there was someone clearly had to be defined as the team captain. As the man that I am, every part of me was like, oh yes, I'm going to be the team captain. In that moment, someone else who is very close to us and dear to us also wanted to be the team captain. Out of respect, even based off of some biblical principles, I was like, I need to submit here and not be the team captain. I did that. I'm a little frustrated because even the communication was all rocky.
Yes, the communication about who would be the team captain and why. Obviously, team captain is a little pseudonym that we're using for the sake of this example.
It was like who's going to be the starting quarterback, and it's we're both going through our individual offensive coordinators. I was frustrated, but I was like, it is what it is. But then the other person decides to come in and start gloating. And when I tell y'all, I don't know if y'all seen that meme where it's with Elmo. Rocco. He was like, that's what I heard. Don't crash out. In that moment, through my wife, the Holy Spirit met me in that moment. Physically felt God hug me. And then my wife hugs me. I don't think I've ever wept at that point like that in our marriage. It was like I could exert power to get my way, but in full submission to God, in full submission to this other person, I didn't. That is a meekness that I only have seen in God. I experienced God as my like actual father in that moment. If y'all ain't ever felt God physically hug you, pray for that. That was an experience I will never forget in my life. See, we just talked about this, bro. I ain't finna cry.
I love tears, if you didn't know. I love tears.
Well, you ain't getting them today. Tea time with Larry.
Last full day in Milwaukee, so me and Leonard are going to a coffee shop to work on some of our own projects for the rest of the day. And what's really nice about Milwaukee is that, okay, I'm putting on this perfume and it's almost gone. It's called Vanilla Salt. I got it from Ulta. They have coffee shops that are open until like 7 or 8. Like the Chicago area, it feels like most of them close much earlier, so we are excited about that. And then I have a crazy story to tell you on the way, so let's go. Quick story time. So I'm working on my computer, typing away, and I hear some like pulling on the door. I'm like, okay, I see a person out there. Our unit is connected to another unit, so I'm like, okay, maybe like this is another guest going into like the unit that's next to us. And I still hear him pulling, and I'm like, okay, this is weird, what's going on? And so I try to look out the window to see like who this person is, and I'm like, okay, they're here to do some sort of work on the house or something. But I'm still definitely not thinking that they're coming into the unit that we're staying in. All of a sudden I hear like the door open to the unit that we're in. This man is about to come into this house, and Leonard had just stepped out for a second to get coffee. And so do you know that this man was able to get into the unit that we were in? And luckily, like when I tell you nothing but the Lord, like he had like no malintent or anything. He was like, I'm just here to do my job. This is what was next on the schedule. He was like, I wasn't expecting anybody to be here either. I was just so freaked out. He was like, yeah, like the host just gave me the code to get in because the code that they initially gave me wasn't working. And so I'm like calling the host like, what is going on? And then afterwards I was like, yeah, like you're just gonna have to come back tomorrow or another time because like right now the unit is occupied. Just be careful out here, y'all. It's wild. This try with oatmeal, of course. I'm in Michael's because I really want to watercolor paint tonight, and I have a travel set that I basically take with me everywhere, and it has a little brush in it too that you can like pour water in. I was helping my baby cousin use it, and she was painting, stabbing the brush on the paper. Like the brush itself like is caving into the whole thing, and so I can't use it. Surely Michael's will have the little brush that I want. They do not, but instead what they have is a travel set, and so now I'm deliberating with myself about whether or not I'm actually going to buy this. Our waiter, you know, the first thing when you go out to dinner, what do they ask you? Do you want water? So he asks us, what kind of water would you like? Tap, distilled or sparkling? And I was like, ooh, sparkling, because I love sparkling water. I'm thinking that like all of those options are going to be at no additional cost, okay? And Leonard was like, oh, we're gonna see, like we might have to pay for that.
I looked around and I see everybody else has like just regular water bottles, I guess, from the kitchen. But ours didn't look like that, and I was like, oh.
Because look what it looked like. What is this? Because I don't need $9 a bottle sparkling water. I could have tap water. Because my meal was so spicy, I'm like, I can't even have my sparkling water because the carbonation is too much for me. We're done here. We're just gonna drive past the Airbnb that something very special is happening at in a few months. In January, I am hosting a retreat for women who want to learn more about sharing the gospel in their specific context. I'm really excited. It's going to be in Milwaukee. This is another one of those like co-creation with God endeavors. So, and the Lord has already been just so kind and faithful in like bringing the people to help make this vision come to life. From Milwaukee. I'm so glad you joined us for this trip. It was so fun. How was the trip for you?
It was great. I'm tired.
Yeah. Subscribe, like if you liked the video. Okay, bye. Thanks again for watching.